Hey, Cycly, why are you
Yeah.
covered in shit?
Oh, it's like really good for your skin. I've been breaking out lately.
Huh. Welcome into the Bro Force Squad podcast. We are here to give you another world famous TV series review on American Vandal Season 2. I'm Brian Banner alongside our legal counsel, Ronnie Cycly. And as you guys know, we grade all of our everything, reviews on everything on our 5 criteria: acting, cast, story, plot, best scene, impact on pop culture, and rewatchability. So, Cycly, let's jump right in. Acting and cast, what'd you think of American Vandal Season 2?
I thought they knocked it out of the park. I thought, I was amazed because the first season was great and did a amazing job, but they really bring on this meta stuff like, hey, this is a real documentary. And even though you know it's fake, you're watching it and you get invested. They sell it and I'm buying. They do such a good job of making it feel real. The characters are all people you knew in high school. You knew someone who acted exactly like every person in there. And I over and over again, I'm just shocked of how good of a job they do for something that's such a silly premise and how seriously they make it. What did you think?
I cannot agree more. I think that honestly, this season at times it felt like they went to each character and said, "Okay, here's your character. This is what you did. These people are going to figure it out. So just be a high school kid." And they went to every single character and did that. So you're actually seeing them be real. It's not scripted. They don't know what's going to happen. At times, I believe that honestly, like Peter and Sam, they don't even know who the turd burglar is, even though obviously they've read the script. They know the storyline and everything. In the show, they do such a good job of playing the parts. And again, like you said, we all knew those people in high school. Hell, even now as an adult, we know those people in real life. And it was everybody played their part flawlessly. I would say better than the first season, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree. I think, see, the first season, Dylan himself was just iconic, right? You definitely knew that douche bro in high school who did all that kind of stuff. And then this year, like, they went a different way. They went with the nerdy drama trope kid.
They also brought in the jock too, which I liked.
Yeah, they did. And I was just like, again, I knew that guy in high school. I knew the guy who drank tea in the morning.
You need to create a vapor.
And talked like in a British accent, whatever, that kind of stuff. Like, I knew that kid. Like it was perfect.
Yeah, I think that everybody did a really good job of playing that part, and everybody really took it to heart. I think all the ancillary characters is really what put this season over the top for me. Moving right along with that, what'd you think? Actually, I'm going to start with the story and plot. I think this season, the idea of having a turd burglar, of having 4 different crimes that have to do with shit. Yes, it's ridiculous like the first season, Who Drew the Dicks. I think it's a harder premise. It's not as funny. It's not as in your face as Who Drew the Dicks. So you have to have a better writing behind it. And I think they did that very, very well. Because it's the first season is Who Drew the Dicks, and the whole time you're talking about hand jobs and this is how I knew that he drew the dicks and there's ball hair.
Ball hairs.
All of that is really funny. Really, after the first episode, everybody shit themselves. Where's that punch? You don't continue to have that reoccurring laugh. It's always the same thing. It's poop. It's poop. It's poop. It's poop. It's poop. And so you have
Poop is funny though.
Poop is funny though. But you have to have better writing and a better story to navigate those waters when you don't have as strong of a premise.
Yeah, I agree. And I was a little nervous when I heard there was going to be a second season of American Vandal, specifically for that reason. One, I felt like, doing the Who Drew the Dicks was just, you knocked it out of the park.
You're never going to top it.
You made fun of serial, you made fun of making a murderer, and it did what it was supposed to do. When I heard they were doing a season 2, I was like, okay, what are they trying to accomplish here? And then we got this premise. First of all, I love the name Turd Burglar. And you're right. It wasn't as slapstick funny as the first season. They totally did make up for it in its writing style. And the full on investment. And I think that is also why we got a full closure here with this one, outside of the first one, where they hinted at who did it, but we never actually knew. This one came full circle, and I think you're right. I think they had a premise that was great. It wasn't who drew the dicks, but they made up for it in other ways.
I couldn't agree more. I don't know if we said this earlier, so we're going to go say it now. Spoilers. I don't think we've spoiled anything yet, but if we have, oh well. I also like how, to start the season off, they very easily and very well, they did it very well, have explained how they're on Netflix and how they're doing a second season and connected it, which how you connect it with not having your main character from the first season in the second season. Everybody be like, I don't know about that. But saying, hey, we were really great on the internet, and then Netflix approached us, gave us some money, and basically upped our game between sophomore and senior year. And then because of that, we get to do this as our senior project. And it's in a whole new town, a whole new state. That to me was very creative.
And it helped too, because you're right. Like that whole meta stuff, that whole meta shit right there is exactly why people wanted to talk to him. It's exactly why DeMarcus and Lou wanted to talk to him, because they were famous. You know, I feel like this one showed like a lot of characters probably wouldn't have talked to them in this situation, because a lot of the characters would have been too nervous because of what they might have shown. But because they were, you know, on Netflix now, the first one, they were at their own high school. That's why people talked to them.
Right.
This one, they were still high school kids going and talking to teachers. They knew this was serious stuff. And again, we all know it's still fake, but that sense of realism they bring to us as the viewer.
There were times where I didn't believe it was fake. There were times I thought I was watching an actual documentary.
Yeah. No, I actually read comments online where people actually believed this stuff. Like people didn't realize it was satire or anything like that. And I understand why. We knew this because we looked into it. But let's just say you've never heard of it and you're casually going down Netflix and you see it and you start watching it. Why wouldn't you believe it? Yes, it's a ridiculous premise. But that's what I respect about it. The first season, I was afraid when I saw it was going to be 8 episodes. I was like, you're not going to give me 8 episodes of dick jokes. Like, as much as I love that, it's not going to work.
I would still watch it.
Don't do that. I mean, I would probably watch it, but it wouldn't be as successful. But, you know, they take it the premise so seriously, and that's what makes it work.
And
yeah, we'll get into
it's also, this season I think is kind of more believable. Somebody spiking the lemonade and making everybody get massive diarrhea. Like, I can totally see somebody in my high school doing that.
I'm waiting for someone to do this, like, for real.
I bet somebody already has. This show's been out, what, a week, 2 weeks? Totally, somebody's already tried.
Like, how couldn't you?
How terrified would you be if you were a high school principal right now after you saw that?
Every day you're looking at the lemonade suspiciously. And speaking of that, my favorite was the brother. I know we're probably not going to get into this yet, but the old guy, what was his name? Brother something?
Oh, yeah, Brother Buckley.
I don't know if you noticed this, and this was
old people die on this shit.
And I don't know if you know that they're one of the episodes. They finally put the camera in the
yes,
locker.
It took him the entire time to walk across the camera.
It's so subtle. There's no reason you would notice it unless you're paying attention. It fast forward like the whole day, and he's made it like 5 steps.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
And those are the little subtle things that they did. And that kind of, let's move in to, instead of best scene, we're going to do kind of our favorite part or hit a few of them. Because obviously when you have 8 episodes, there are a ton of best scenes, a ton of good stuff. So let's just hit on 1 or 2 of our favorite parts of the season.
Yes, so I'll take the low-hanging fruit. I mean, the very first episode, just the entire brownout.
It's so
Because
ridiculous.
they go all in. They go all in. And it is hard to watch. I actually watched it twice. My wife, she hadn't seen it. I had watched it once. And the second time, she's in the other room watching it for the first time. She's screaming at me like, "Why am I watching this? Like, oh my God!" Like it's so well done.
All I can say is thank God it wasn't chili night, because we usually watch it while we eat dinner.
Yeah, thank God I wasn't eating at all. And I would probably never eat again. The scenes of like the kids running and covering their asses, it's just so.
That's your over the top. Yeah, I'll keep going with that. Again, I thought the storyline. I thought one of my favorite parts was DeMarcus Tillman
I loved him.
I thought his character, again, he was one of those ones where if you literally just place him in real life, I'm like, yeah, that's totally a dude. Like if you yeah, like he's just, that is a high school basketball player that runs the school. And he played the part so well. And then at the end, obviously, shit gets really real, no pun intended, really fast. And I can see somebody in that situation finding somebody online and going, hey, I'm not expected to be the best. Like, this is a real conversation, a real friendship, and sending a dick pic to this person. And I can see that happening. And then one of the best scenes was at the end when Peter and Sam are interviewing him in the car. And after everything goes out and we know that he's sent dick pics and it gets released in the dump, and his just realism in the car, I can totally buy, like, that high school jock that you think has it all doesn't really have it all.
I love when he's like, have you guys seen it? So you guys have seen my dicks? I met you like a month ago and you bros have seen my dick.
Yeah.
You know what other scene I love? And you're right. He was amazing. I mean, that's what, again, it goes back to why I love this series. They're so relatable. You know that person exists. And you know someone like that who's dealing with that kind of fame is probably more susceptible to getting catfished.
Oh, for sure.
And he was like, no one's real with me. I finally had someone who was real. Another scene I loved, or just area I loved, I fucking loved Hot Janitor. Like, the whole, like, they're playing Pony, and they're, like, Snapchatting him while he's mopping.
Well, and then the fact that he lives in a trailer, like,
he's a
growing kale. It's just, that's really funny. I really liked when the turd burglar first contacted Peter and Sam and said, go to these coordinates. And he's digging through the shit with chopsticks, and he's like, there's nothing here. And Sam's like, I think he just wanted you to play with chopsticks in the shit.
I was cracking up there. They do it twice. They fall for the turd burglar every time he sends them a link. The second time, it's like a panda pooping on another panda.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, here's some information. And Peter and Sam get so excited about learning something. And it's just that.
Yeah.
They fall for it every time.
So let's move on to Impact, I think, because I think the last kind of best part that I have also has to do with Impact. And that's kind of the main message of this season. You know, the first season, I think, was a direct ripoff of Making a Murderer. Of if you accuse somebody and you go through the whole judicial system and you convict them, even though the evidence doesn't necessarily point to them, you end up turning them into a criminal. This season wasn't quite that. That one was a direct derivative of Making a Murderer, in my opinion. This season, I thought they were going to go more off of Making a Murderer without getting into that documentary of the convicting somebody who was innocent on a false confession. And that would be Brandon Dassey in the Making a Murderer series.
I was going to say it was like the first season was Steven, and then the second season was Brandon Dassey.
Right, and that was the feel that I got. But then as you get into it, and especially in the last episode, we find out that it isn't him, it's somebody else that, they were falsely accused of a crime, but then they go on their rant and kind of their personal social tirade of saying everybody's full of shit. And we all live in front of the camera, and we all, in this world of social media, how accessible everybody is and everything is. And really, it didn't seem that hard for, and I don't remember the character's name, the weird guy that was the phone repair dude.
Oh, yeah. I remembered it.
Yeah, then he was the turd burglar, but how really easy it was for him to get what he needed and to get these people to do what he needed to do. And that's where the real impact on this is. I think the first season they didn't quite hit what they wanted to say. And I think this season they really hit their message of the satire and yes, it's funny, it's ridiculous, but there was a true message of what the creators were trying to get across.
Again, it goes back to the real. Like, I think sometimes people watch this stuff and maybe don't enjoy it. It's more because, like, this season definitely did not have as many just slapstick laughs. but that's what I think they have to do with what they're trying to do. You can't make 8 episodes of just that. You know, it's real. I never fell for a catfish, but there was an attempt to catfish me in law school. And it was this guy who was posing as this girl sending me nudes. And I found out later, I didn't fall for it. They were trying to get me to send stuff back. But later on, a year later, I found out he was doing this to a bunch of other people in law school. And, you know, like this is something you have to deal with in the age of being online. Like, who are you really talking to? And, you know, the sense that they give us all the victims, they all were like very, you know, Deborah was, Jenna, the rich girl. Like, you know, she's rich. And, you know, like, and then you have DeMarcus, who's a famous big basketball player. It's like, you have these people who you wouldn't think fall for it stuff, but like, I feel like that's actually more realistic when they brought to it. It's something that everyone now, kids today, our generation and younger, will always have to deal with now.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think the biggest, and that's the impact of this, and one of the best parts of the show is how they mix comedy and humor with such a important message to the younger generation who, I mean, there are kids now that don't know what it's like to wake up and watch Saturday morning cartoons because they have cartoons on Netflix at their fingertips all the time. Yep. And those are the people I think that they're more appealing to and trying to teach, really. And that's really cool that they can do that with poop jokes.
Yeah.
You know? Cycly, rewatchability, let's just hammer this thing home. Are you going to watch American Vandal Season 2 again?
Well, I actually already have. So I watched it by myself. I binged it. And then I watched it one more time with my wife as she watched it slowly. And I really enjoyed it the second time, too. I picked up on more. I was kind of more so watching a little bit here and there, looking if there's other things I missed, or, you know, also enjoyed watching her reaction. I didn't think I would watch, like, the first season again or the second season again. I don't watch a lot of True Doc stuff again. Like, I've never rewatched Making a Murderer. You know, it's just not to say I don't enjoy it. It's just like when you know what the whole point of a documentary is, it's very rare to watch any documentary over again unless you're showing it to someone. But I did rewatch American Vandal Season 1 right before this just to get back into it. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, I can talk. There's a big difference between Season 1 and Season 2, but I love Dylan. I love the whole Who Drew the Dicks. It's amazing. And you know what? I'll probably not watch this again. But if there's a Season 3 and we can get into that, then I probably might give it one more shot. It's not a hard watch. It's 30 minutes of 8 episodes of 30 minutes, you know. So I'll probably give it once a year, once every couple of years rewatch.
It's an easy Tuesday night for me. Do you think we'll get a Season 3?
You know, I didn't think we'd have a Season 1. I mean, sorry, a Season 2, and they were all prepared for it. I don't see them stopping. I see them going to freshman year and doing something else. I maybe see them doing 3, max, maybe a 4th, but I bet you we get at least one more. What do you think?
I think they'll do a Season 3, but I don't know how, because obviously they're seniors in high school now, so they're going to be in college. Well, most of the pranks that you pull in college are now just straight criminal. There isn't a school board involved, and so I think it would be much more difficult to really do that. You know what I mean? Without making it like an actual documentary. So maybe they pass it off, or we go to the next generation of kids at Peter and Sam's school, or maybe they start their own company, and instead of them doing it, we have other people that work for them that are doing these documentaries, maybe like through a school grant or something like that. But I think it's going to be hard for them to do a Season 3, but also with the success of Season 1 and Season 2, I think we will get a Season 3.
Yeah. What about for your rewatchability?
Rewatchability, I'm with you. I probably will go back and watch Season 1 for the second time, and then immediately go into Season 2, just because I know the writing is so different. The stories are so different, and you can tell that Peter and Sam grew as producers and directors from Season 1 to Season 2, and I want to see that on screen more in my face and more prevalent with better memory between the first and second season. So I probably will go watch it back to back after I watch season 1 again.
Yeah. Can I ask you what you thought about before we go into the last thing? Like, what did you think about the ending?
I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I loved how everybody had motivation to be their own version of the turd burglar, as well as why they did it. I got it. And then again, the social message at the end that, everybody has shit to deal with. But then really at the end, it showed how everybody, other than the teacher, is going to persevere and be okay moving forward after.
Yeah, that teacher is a creep.
That teacher, which I'm glad they didn't go into depth on the teacher, because that would have been way too weird and way too real.
That's a whole different thing.
That's a whole nother animal that I'm glad they didn't even touch. So I love the ending. I think I might have liked this ending, not just because we get a true resolution, but the fact that the turd burglar wasn't just one person. I mean, it was, but he was acting through all of these other people.
Yeah. Can I give a shout out here to Diaper Boy? Because I can't remember his name, but he's Diaper Boy.
Drew something.
Drew. Because he actually was manipulated just like all the others, but he said, you know what? Fuck it, I'm not going to do it. And he's the reason. And I like this reveal because we didn't ask ourselves why his photos got leaked in like with the third episode. Now we know it was leaked because he refused the blackmail. But props to him. He was probably had the most embarrassing outcome out of everyone.
Yeah, I mean, look,
he still said no.
At the end of the day, a dick pic isn't that big of a deal. I mean, a girl sending a picture of her chest, like, yes, it is a big deal, but this dude put
vulnerability.
This dude put a diaper on, and
then performed fellatio on himself.
Yeah, that's just fucked up, man.
Also impressive.
Yeah, it is. All right, guys.
Saying, props to him for saying no. Like in high school, I don't think I would have said no.
There's no way I would have said no. I also probably wouldn't have done that though. But
yeah, that too. But still.
But maybe in college, I don't know. Guys, we've been the Bro Force Squad podcast. Check us out on YouTube. Give us a subscribe on there. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter at Bro Force Squad. And we have a website, www.broforcesquad.com. We have all of our content posted up there. Don't forget to read the squad blogs. Till next time, I am Brian Banner. For our legal counsel, Ronnie Cycli. We'll catch you guys next time.